Hello! UnoRaccoon here, back with another video today. So for today I thought I'd start with something pretty simple. I'm going to talk about my puppets. I've been making puppets since 2016. Started out as just a kind of experiment, kind of a hobby sort of thing. It's expanded into actually part of the business that I'm currently running. So I'm going to talk about some of the puppets I've made. Obviously I can't show the commissioned ones because I don't have those in my possession. They're obviously with their owners. I'm just going to show you my own personal ones that I've made for myself, kind of to experiment and stuff. I'm going to go in like a chronological order of like the very earliest ones I made up till the most recent one. Since I don't have the commissioned ones to show, if you want to see those you can check out any of the social media links in the description. There's plenty of pictures of the commissioned puppets and a lot more pictures of my own puppets, so kind of their adventures and stuff. So if you want to check those out, those are there. If you'd like a puppet of your own making, feel free to send me a message on any of the social media links. I'll make you a puppet. I can give you a price quote if you're interested in seeing how much it might cost to get your character made, or I can design your character based on a species or a colour scheme, whatever you like. Yeah, send me a message if you'd like one. Let's have a look. So I can't do this with paws, so you're all gonna look at my weird human hands. This guy was the first puppet I ever made. His name's Dimitri. He's not really anything, he's just like a gremlin creature thing. He was made entirely out of just scraps, like fur scraps, random fabric and stuff. He works like a normal hand puppet, so yeah, your hand goes in there. The moving mouth, and he also has like sticks, so like the traditional kind of Muppet Sesame Street kind of style. So yeah, I mean, I'm doing this on my own, so I can't really do a proper demonstration of how he moves with the mouth and everything, because I kind of need two hands. I made him in summer 2016, mostly just to experiment. I just wanted to try making something different other than just fursuits and stuff. I think he turned out pretty decently for a first attempt. I mean, he's kind of falling apart now. I've never taken him to a con or an event or anything. I probably won't really. He just sits on my shelf. But yeah, he was pretty decent for a first attempt. So this isn't the best quality filming. I'm trying to get a somewhat decent backdrop. It's just a pillow. This was the second puppet I ever made. This is Otto. I made him back in August or September 2016. So yeah, I made this guy after I made Dimitri. I just kind of wanted to make another one, really, and just experiment a bit more. So he works the same way as Dimitri in that your hand goes in here, and he has a moving mouth. I didn't have any sticks for the arms this time, so his arms are just kind of floppy. Kind of reminds me of Kermit when he does the like excited floppy arm thing. So I didn't make a design for either of these guys, Dimitri and Otto, just because they were experiments. I just kind of went with whatever scraps I had at the time. I think I had a bit more of a direction with this guy because I gave him kind of a steampunky look. He has goggles which are actually coming off now because he's very old and not very well made. Also, when I made him, I was like really obsessed with Ghostbusters, which I kind of still am, really. I mean, it's one of my favourite series. So I kind of took some inspiration from like the slime aesthetic there, so on his eyes and his like all the green parts. That's where the inspiration for that came from. But other than that, he's just made of scraps. Again, he's never been out to a con or anything. Probably never will now. He just sits on the shelf with Dimitri. I just bring him out occasionally for if anyone wants to see him. So this was the third puppet I ever made. This one is from 2017, I think like summer, like May to June kind of time, 2016. Some of you probably recognise the character. This is Audrey 2 from The Little Shop of Horrors, which is one of my favourite musicals. Again, I made this just as an experiment, really. This one's a bit more foam based, so the head part is made of foam and also the plant pot. So your hand goes in here and the mouth moves, like with the other puppets. I did a lot of like dry brushing, painted details. The teeth are made of foam, and the rest is just stuffed with some more like acrylic details on the side. Going with the idea of like, if you've seen the movie or the musical The Little Shop of Horrors, Audrey 2 obviously starts out as a smaller plant, so this was kind of based on that, like before it grows into like the full size. So it looks as if like when you're using it, it looks as if you're just holding the plant pot and the plant is like coming to life. So again, this one was made mostly as an experiment. Kind of did it as part of a cosplay. I cosplayed as like a steampunk version of Seymour, which didn't go great because at the time I wasn't great at cosplay, but the puppet turned out pretty cool at least. So yeah, this one's been out to Manchester MCM and a couple steampunk events over the years. I haven't taken it out for quite a while. It's been on the shelf for a couple years now, but maybe I will again. I mean, I still quite like how this one looks. Since I do some work in theatre and, well, I'm hoping to do more work in theatre, it's kind of like a dream of mine to like actually make a big scale Audrey 2 for a show, or even a little one, but just an Audrey 2 for the actual production of Little Shop of Horrors. That's definitely a goal. I'd love to do that someday. The big scale Audrey 2 puppets actually often get hired out now for theatres, which is cool, but like I would love to be commissioned to make an Audrey 2 that would actually be on stage or in some kind of performance. That would be really cool. So now we're moving on to the slightly bigger scale puppets. This guy's name is Toby. He was named by one of my friends. I literally, as soon as I finished him, I sent a picture of him to my friend and I was like, this guy needs a name, and so his name's Toby. I made this guy in 2018, summertime. He was made again as an experiment, but I think at this point I was wanting to make something, because I used to wear fursuits a lot at steampunk conventions, and I was wanting to make something that would stand out like a fursuit would, but something that meant I didn't need to wear like a full fursuit because it gets very hot at steampunk events, especially in the small kind of venues. So I made this guy, mostly just off the top of my head. Again, he was made with whatever material scraps I had left. I just had a lot of these colours, so I went with that. I didn't look at many tutorials, I pretty much figured it out, although I know a few people online do make similar puppets on this kind of bigger scale. His eyes are made from plastic baubles. He's got a fleece nose. He's got foam teeth. Well, his whole head is made out of foam. So again, he's like a hand puppet. He works like a hand puppet, although he's a lot longer. So his legs would kind of go like across my back. So it's kind of hard to describe without seeing a picture. I'll actually put a picture right here. So yeah, it gives the illusion that he would be like sitting on my shoulders and then my arm would be inside. There's an opening here, so my arm would go in there and control his mouth. So yeah, this guy was my favourite puppet. Well, he is one of my favourite puppets. I first brought him out to the Steampunk Festival at Hebden Bridge Steampunk Weekend, 2018, and he was really, really well received. Like, people really liked him, and that made me really happy. So it was cool to have something different than a fursuit that could still have a similar kind of effect on people, I guess. People kind of interacted with him a little bit more than the fursuits as well. I think, like, sometimes people can be a bit wary of fursuiters. I mean, I don't know why, but like, I guess people get creeped out by masks a little bit, whereas puppets, it's kind of like, I'm holding him, but I'm also there with my human face, so yeah. I hope everyone likes him. He was definitely one of the best ones I made for a while. So here's another bigger scale puppet. This is the type I was focusing on pretty much. After I made Toby, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do bigger, better kind of scale puppets now. This is Dennis, again named by the same friend who named Toby. Same thing happened again. I just sent a picture and was like, name this guy. So yeah, they have very normal names, but I quite like that. People seem to like that about them. So this guy, this is Dennis the Demon. Originally I was going for kind of like a goat kind of look, a bit like Baphomet, that kind of thing, so it's kind of there. Although in the end he ended up being a bit more like a dragon. Like, a lot of people think he's a dragon, which is fine because he looks like a dragon. He actually has light up eyes. The batteries are kind of dying, I need to sort that out soon. And also it's too light right now to record them, but I will put a clip right here. He has light up eyes, he has 3 eyes. This one has like the moon. These ones are just normal. They actually have LED candles, which is what makes them light up. So he has sparkly vinyl ears. Fleece horns, he's got 4 horns in total. Lots of teeth, well, not loads of teeth, but big teeth. He's got little arms, and then he has wings as well. Very little wings. He works very similar to Toby in that he's got a longer body, so his opening is here. So again, my hand will control his mouth. The only difference with him is that because he's a slightly different species, Toby's supposed to be like a jackal. This guy's just a demon or dragon. So his legs actually have like a Velcro attachment. He's got some random bit of foam on it. His legs have like a Velcro attachment. So they would go like around my neck. So it looks like, again, it looks like he's sitting on my shoulders, just a little bit different. So it kind of looks like he's sitting sort of almost cross-legged in a way, like a yoga kind of position almost. But people seem to like that, like people think he looks really funny. He's been quite popular. He was actually responsible for getting me my first puppet commission, when I took him to a Comic-Con. And I've also made a lot of friends through this guy, like people come and talk to me and I've met people through doing puppets and stuff, so yeah, he's looking very scruffy now because I've taken him out so many times. and I've lent him to other people as well if I'm bringing out one puppet and they want to bring out another one. So I've had him out at the same time as my other puppets at various events. He's been to lots of events. If you go to any steampunk events in the UK, you might have seen me with him, or you might have seen him in pictures or anything. But he was made kind of for Halloween, so he's been to loads of steampunk events, but also he's been to Goth Weekend and Horror Festival and stuff. Probably needs a bit of fixing up, but I'll definitely be bringing him out more again in the future. So lastly, this guy here, this is Leonard. Leonard the Lycoi cat. He was made in 2019. He was the last puppet I made for myself. Probably will be for a while until I have the time to make more. Definitely want to make more at some point. So I actually started this guy around April 2019, last year, with the intention to make him for Goth Weekend, but I just didn't finish him. I was at uni at the time. So he was kind of an experiment. I knew I wanted to make a Lycoi cat, and also I wanted to try moving eyes, which don't quite work, but they work if I do it like that. So I had the foam head base for a long time just as an experiment for the eyes, and when we got to around August time last year, I finally got him out and I was like, okay, I'm going to finish this guy, because I was going to the Liverpool Horror Festival, so I was like, okay, I'll finish this guy for then. I didn't have a design for him, but at the time I was like just got into Ash vs Evil Dead, so I was really into the series, and I was like obsessed with like everything about that series, so I decided I'd make him into like a Deadite, which is the kind of zombie demons from Evil Dead. So his eyes and his kind of weird blue markings and stuff are very much inspired by Evil Dead. And people like noticed that as well, like when I went to Horror Festival, I was like, he's a Deadite cat, and like people get that, which is really cool. So yeah, he has like a xenomorph kind of situation going on here, second mouth inside. He's got a nose piercing, which is actually a curtain ring. He's got a little medal that came from the Asylum Festival last year. So again, he works the same as my other bigger puppets. He's got a fleece front and a fake fur back. Again, that's his opening, so he works like hand puppet again. He's got a lot of painted details. He's got more piercings, which are made out of key rings. I kind of went crazy with the paint on him, but I really like how he looks. Again, I didn't have a design, I just made him up on the spot. I knew I wanted a Lycoi and then turned him into a Deadite later on. He's got like drool that's made out of glue. And his feet. Little claws. The claws are made of foam. Although I had some kids come up to me once and ask if they were made out of rocks, which is a bit weird, but okay. Foam teeth again. Lots of acrylic painted details. This probably isn't the best quality video, to be honest. Like, if it wasn't just me doing it, I could probably get a better backdrop and sort things out, but this is the best I can do right now. So hopefully you can all get the idea. His tail is supposed to be like a skeleton, like exposed kind of bone, but it kind of looks like a bandage. So either way, whatever you want to make of it. He's probably my favourite puppet. I mean, I don't want to choose favourites, but like, he's probably my favourite one that I've made. People seem to really like him. I've brought him to Horror Festival, and he's been to lots of steampunk events. He came to the Asylum Festival. I did like a post-apocalyptic cosplay with him that people really liked. Again, with the theme of the puppets having very normal names. But yeah, people seem to like that, and people recognise him as well. Like, the same people have seen him a few times at events, and they're like, oh, it's Leonard, and I'm like, yeah. So yeah, he's the last one. I want to make another one at some point. I bought some LED lights at Goth Weekend last year when I was there with this guy. I actually want to make a puppet that has green LED lights in the eyes, so I might do more of another horror based puppet. All my puppet characters are boys as well, so I might make a girl puppet. Not too sure yet. I'm going to see if I can come up with anything soon and when I have the time to make something. Maybe soon, since we're all kind of stuck inside. So yeah. So I hope you all enjoyed the video and that little insight into the puppets that I've made so far. I'll definitely be making more videos soon. I kind of want to do one showing all the fursuits that I've made, although to be honest I have quite a lot of them now because I've been doing it a few years, so that might be kind of a long video, but I'll see how it goes. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Again, if you want to see more of these guys or more of the other commissioned puppets that I've made, you can check out the social media links, they're all on there. If you want one of your own, you can send me a message, I'll give you a quote, and then we can discuss me making you a puppet or whatever you want. Hope everyone enjoyed the video, hope everyone's doing well. If you liked it, feel free to subscribe, give me a like or whatever. You don't have to again, but it's there if you wanna. And that's the end. I will see you all next time. Bye!